And I'll begin simply by acknowledging that when beloved people from community move or prepare to move, you feel it in your heart and in your bones. We will miss you very much. And we know that you will miss us.
We will miss you so much.
I know you have been such a piece of this community in terms of its heart. And the teaching I want to share is that the Parsha Bamidbar is always read before the holiday of Shavuot. Both of them have to do with countings. So for Shavuot, we're counting 7 weeks to come between Pesach and Shavuot. And in Bamidbar, we count the people. And it's interesting that counting is sometimes seen as it has opposite meanings. Some people see counting and censuses in a very negative way. After David took census, there was terrible plague. And it's like, don't count. And so sometimes when we're trying to see if there are 10 for a minyan, not 1, not 2, and it's like this kind of crazy Jewish superstition things of you don't count, and there's all kinds of sweet ways to talk about it. Sometimes when you count, you don't see people's individuality. And so I read a beautiful drush that said, what allows counting to be meaningful is when you treasure each person or each day that you count. And there's a midrash about this week's portion is counting each person was like God taking out jewels and saying, this person and that person, with each of us being a jewel. And so you both have the beautiful gift of treating all of us in community as jewels. You make us feel counted, seen, and treasured. And it's true that when you would walk into your classroom, you would feel love. And so many students will talk about Mora Esti and the joy they felt in learning, and not just students in our religious school, but our adult students to whom you taught Hebrew. And Donnie, you have a gentle, thoughtful way of engaging with Torah that also comes from a place of love. The drash that I read connected the word lispor, to count, with lisaper, to tell, or sefer, a story. And it said that when counting is done in the context of story, then it's a different kind of counting. It's a counting of blessing. You have shared with us your stories. As you've observed yard sites, we've learned your stories of origin. Your parents, your grandparents, they're coming to Israel, the homes that they built. And they were indeed homes of love. We could see where your love sprouted from. So my first blessing is that the home to which you will move be a home where your community there appreciates your stories in the ways that we have come to appreciate them. May your stories be part of your new home as you form new friendships and new connections. May the light that comes from both of you, through your essence, through your love, through your Yiddishkeit, through your wisdom, be a light that shines on those who you meet. We indeed know that that light will travel with you in beautiful ways and will sustain you and others where you go. May you find blessing. May you find health. May you find learning. May your souls continue to expand and be nurtured in your new home, knowing that this is your forever home and you will be treasured and loved here. May you feel all of our blessing and love.
Amen.
And now, we look forward to learning with you.
I just want to שבת שלום, קהילה קדושה. Our dear CBJ family, what is working well? What accomplishments have we achieved? Have you lately or ever taken some time to sit down and think about your accomplishments? Have you taken the time focusing on the good things in life, the wonderful blessings we have? As people, we are naturally moving forward toward the next moment in time. We are often in too much of a hurry to pause and gently inhale the present, the now moment. We strive to move on quickly, to accomplish more, and to save precious time. And this allows us to manage more, do more, and complete more, because we added some more hours to spend in our next mission. We are in a race to successfully accomplish more things, to meet more requirements, and rehearse our upcoming assignment in the best way possible, and to perform the best we can. But do we ever stop for a brief moment to appreciate what we've achieved so far? To appreciate our accomplishments, to our significant and minor successes? I often like to share this story of the famous Israeli actor Natan Datner from his weekly Friday radio show. Natan Datner, a successful theater actor who plays as Tuvia Cholev, the main character in The Fiddler on the Roof, was bowing down to the audience throughout all 100 shows. With all of the actors, at the end of each play, he bowed down to the happy, cheering sounds. His routine approach to the front of the stage was always accompanied by louder cheering and clapping from the appreciative audience, a ritual he loved and got used to. However, on the night of the 100th show, as the audience was standing, cheering happily and loudly as usual, he noticed that one man in the front row didn't stand up nor clap. Datner was devastated and couldn't enjoy the hundreds of people being happy and applauding. His mind was focused on that one unappreciative person, pounding with the question, why? Thanks to Natan Datner's story, I started training myself to focus on the many things that were working, my successes, my achievements, my accomplishments. Naturally, our brain usually directs us toward things we need to fix and less toward accomplishments we should appreciate. On top of that, I grew up learning to always criticize myself and strive to be better in every activity and in every field. We need to train ourselves to take the time to breathe, enjoy the fresh air, and also appreciate our achievements, our decisions, and new journeys we need to take. We are often so busy criticizing ourselves that we forget to admire a good idea or a brilliant insight we came up with, even if this idea seems to be foolish in the eyes of people we love and admire. Pursuing this new chapter in our lives is a brilliant idea. And thank God, we are mature and wise enough to acknowledge that and to take the time to appreciate it. Well, arriving at this notion is wonderful. However, a big question arises. Why? Why move so far from the familiar, so far from dear friends, so far from the nice and loving social environment we have here? Why move to the desert? And here I wish to make the connection between focusing on appreciating our achievements and trusting ourselves with new ideas. Our parasha, Parashat Bamidbar, takes place in the desert, in the Midbar, Bamidbar. The name of our parasha is Bamidbar, which can translate to in the desert, in the wilderness, and or in a chaotic place, a place without any order. God is speaking to Moses in the desert. וידבר אדוני אל משה במדבר סיני. With these words it starts. Why in the desert? Why did God pick the desert, the Bamidbar, a place which seems the opposite of an important central place to talk to Moshe? So I have some questions. Is it about emphasizing the importance of being humble during every action we take? Being humble like nature's simple desert? Is it about accepting the Torah as is, emphasizing all of her words as pure and truth, and all of our mitzvot as the pure must, as the desert symbolizes a simple truth without any fancy coating or unnecessary glorification? Or is it about the fact that the desert is considered to be a place of wilderness that doesn't belong to any being, to resemble the Torah, that doesn't belong to a certain being, but to all who hold on to it? A tree of life to all people who choose to follow her. And is it about another idea which might be similar to the previous one, that the Torah exists like the enormous desert and is there for any willing person to learn from? It is all of these and more. God wants to count the people of Israel, but in a detailed order. Moreover, God instructs a different purpose to the Levites, HaLeviim. In chapter 1, במדבר 1, Aleph 48 and 50, וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, אך את מטה לוי לא תפקוד, ואת ראשם לא תישא בתוך בני ישראל. ואתה הפקד את הלוויים על משכן העדות, ועל כל כליו, ועל כל אשר לו, המה יישאו את המשכן ואת כל כליו, והם ישרתוהו, וסביב למשכן יחנו. When our decision of relocating to Pennsylvania was made, I was excited. I am excited. And with this excitement, the Bamidbar feelings often entered my thoughts. We are not familiar with anyone there. The new connections we made with a few nice people are new. It is a mix of unfamiliar, exciting, and a bit worrisome feelings. Bamidbar feelings. Going to the wilderness feelings. But as we read in our parasha, even Bamidbar, even in the wilderness, in a new and unfamiliar place, an order starts to take its shape. When God asks to count the people of Israel, looking how many people in each tribe, in each tent, in each family. And moreover, an additional order is requested from Moshe by God, that the people from the Levi tribe, the Levites, will not be included in the global count as they are assigned to serve in the holy tabernacle. And inside the holy area, an additional order is taking place. Different assignments are given. So there is a new purpose. Even if it is yet unfamiliar. It is with good intentions to make life better, with healthy goals ahead, physically and spiritually. And I was thinking about the notions that brought us to making this decision. Our Bamidbar became a clear path with an important purpose to make life physically and spiritually better. Deciding about our new goals, Danny and I have been also counting, measuring ideas, and calculating our steps moving forward, and always reminding ourselves to take the time and appreciate the experience in the present, the hiccups, the successes, the achievements, and the process toward the future, which is the actual ongoing journey of life. I want to thank you all, wonderful CBJ community, for being such an essential part of our journey, our lives. We're honored to be a part of the CBJ family. I want to also give some heartfelt thanks and a little story that I actually never shared until this moment. I want to thank for the bottom of my heart to all of my students at CBJ, children, youth, and adults. To the most amazing rabbi, Rabbi Ezra, that always carry his words of wisdom with love and sincere care. To the most wonderful Rabbi Ilana, that can listen to your heart in the most caring way and always has the wisdom to view things through a loving lens. To my flower and butterflies, lovely friend Cantor Barbara, who is the most talented and wonderful cantor. To the brilliant educator, the most resourceful initiator, my friend Natalia. To my sister, my friend, my colleague, always stood by me, Michal Breaker. And to my brother, Achi, the most amazing scholar and Torah reader, and the most cheerful singer, Bill, Achi. So I wanted to share a story that in 2011, that was the world was in shake. It was a world shake. You know, there was an earthquake and there was a world quake. My beloved mother passed away, and that was kind of sealing the core family I was born into. My dad passed in 2001, my sister before that in 1988, and my father and my mother passed away in 2011. Rabbi Ezra suggested very gently to go to the camp of grief and growing. I never heard about such a thing, but it was a thing, and Rabbi Ezra promised me that it's a good thing to be in while grieving, after grieving, during. I was there, and I didn't say a word. There were a lot of activities and conversations. I chose, well, maybe I couldn't speak. I didn't speak a word. However, the last day of the camp, the special camp, there was a presentation. The instructors, the leaders of this camp asked every person, every grieving person, to come up and share something. Again, I didn't find any words, but I found a song in my heart, always to my mom, and that was the song I sang to her when she passed away. I wish to share it with you. כל האור מזמן הלך לו, אל תלכי איתו גם את. בואי אמא, בואי אמא, בואי שבי איתי מעט, בואי אמא, בואי אמא, בואי שבי איתי מעט. בעצים מכה הרוח וידייך כה חמות. אל תלכי, ספרי לי אמא, איך באים החלומות. אל תלכי, ספרי לי אמא, איך באים החלומות. אם פתאום מלאך יופיע אל חדרי יבוא בלט, אל תלכי, ספרי לי אמא, ותראי אותו גם את. בואי שבי אמא, ותראי אותו גם את. לא איני פוחדת בחושך, ואיני רועדת בכלל. בואי אמא, בואי אמא, שבי איתי עד שאגדל. בואי אמא, בואי אמא, שבי איתי עד שאגדל. I want to thank you, and I want to tell you that we're moving, but we're not leaving. So, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So, preparing for this, probably Rabbi and Rabbi know that you can prepare a drash, and then something happens in the middle of the week, rendering the entire thing irrelevant. And this week, I just hoped all week that nothing happens, that I will have to rewrite everything. And nothing really special happened. Shabbat Shalom, dear congregants, teachers, mentors, and friends. In this parasha, God instructs Moses to start operations of organized government from a tribal society that existed before they went down to Egypt, through years of slavery where the Israelites did not have to manage their own affairs. And during the first months in the desert, where they still depended on the governance of Moses, they did not need to be as organized. Now Moses had to prepare the nation to operate like a nation. His first step was to conduct a census counting. It was essential to assign the appropriate weight to each tribe, thereby fairly and logically distributing the responsibility, contribution, and the rights to their estate in the land of Israel. Moses established a hierarchy for each tribe and instilled a delegation of power and responsibility. Moses instructed the tribes to contribute to the nation's army. He set the age of military service to be 20. God also instructed Moses to dedicate the tribe of Levi to religious service. They are not to be counted, and they are exempt from military service. Moses is being instructed on how to form the nation's camp and the location of each tribe in it. Tribes are going to carry identifying flags and symbols. With these actions, God transformed the Israelites from a collection of tribes to a nation. In our everyday life, we do not feel the urgency to take stock of our belongings, our friends, and our blessings. It requires a change, a transition, to look around us and appreciate our house, our neighborhood, our city, and the people that in our life. We are on the brink, Misty and I are on the brink of such a change, and we have to appreciate the friendship and blessings that this community has given us. From day one, back in 2007, when Esti started teaching in the CBJ religious school, we felt at home. My first introduction to CBJ was at a Friday night dinner hosted by Adina, who was the school director at the time. We fell in love with the people, the atmosphere, the clergy, and the activities. In 2011, Esti's mom passed away, and many members came all the way down to Cupertino to bring dishes and participate in Shiva. In the beginning of last year, I celebrated with you the 50th anniversary to my bar mitzvah. This time around, I had the right tools acquired during my time here to analyze the text, understand the pshat, study different interpretation, and draw some conclusions. Last summer, we lost my mother, Ilana. The special service that you, my friends, conducted with me in Beit Tfilah after I returned from Israel helped me open up, share my memories and my grief, and recover. Now I want to tell you about a special treat that I had annually, and this is the Purim Mishloach Manot drive, and I had the south route for, I think, almost from the beginning that we were here. So I would come here and pick up the packages and a printout of the route, and then I would sit and put everything in my GPS and trying to plan an optimal route, you know. And then driving around the cities, meeting people. Many of the people in South Bay do not come much here, so I met new people every time. There was a challenge to find people in retirement communities and nursing homes because the address was one address of the nursing home, but then you have to go out and start asking around, where is the specific person? The first time I made the route, I ended up in the Villages. It's a retirement community in the Silver Creek area in the mountains east of San Jose. I knocked on the door and Joe Aknin opened it. He insisted that I come in, gave me a cold drink, and made me sit and hear his stories. I was fascinated. His stories were colorful and funny. His welcoming manner was captivating. A few years later, when we moved to South San Jose, I called Joe and Andre and offered to give them a ride to CBJ. These rides were a lot of fun. Joe told jokes, told us about their first years in CBJ, about the men's club and the morning minyan. I learned a lot from this couple about CBJ that, you know, you don't get in every time that you come here. Joe, like a few months before Joe died, he gave me the incredible honor to be his pallbearer. He called us and we sat together and, you know, he told me and, you know, it was an honor, but not something that you like to hear when you sit face to face with someone who is dying. During the past 18 years, we have made many friends who invited us to their homes and came to ours. We also lost dear friends, Ruth Shapiro, Joe Aknin, and Ulrich Dennis. Esti has made special connections with the kids in the CBJ religious school. and their parents. Everybody knows her. Kids that she taught in the beginning have finished college, started working, and even one of them started a family. Whenever they come to CBJ, they run up to her, hug her, and tell her about themselves. You probably noticed that I take inventory the same way that Moses did to prepare the move to the Promised Land. We appreciate the inspired services, the eye-opening sermons, the enriching lectures, and the engaging activities. We love reading Torah, meditating in the sanctuary, and chatting with great people in the social hall during luncheons. We are going far away from here, but we will continue to talk to you, keep our friendships, and participate remotely as much as possible. You will always be in our hearts, and the life lessons that you taught us will always stay in our minds. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.